Welcome back, everyone. On Wednesday, 3rd of July, President Bola Tinubu emphasized the necessity of collaborative governance for building a strong, united Nigeria, underscoring that the task is a collective responsibility of all arms of government and segments of society. The president was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, at the inaugural Legislative Open Week organized by the House of Representatives, reiterated his administration's commitment to working closely with both the legislative and judicial branches to foster an inclusive government. He highlighted the importance of creating a legislative framework that promotes inclusiveness and mutual respect. But according to the lawmakers, the Legislative Open Week provides a platform for reflection and forward planning. And that's what our conversation tonight is hinged on. As these legislators reflect and plan forward, how can we boost the relationship between the National Assembly and the people? Honorable Philip Agbese is joining me from our Abuja studio. He's the deputy spokesperson of the House of Representatives. Honorable, good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's good to see you again. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Right. So let's talk about the Legislative Open Week. What are lawmakers planning to achieve with this?
Thank you so much. I bring you and all Nigerians greetings from the People's House, particularly tonight that we are in the spirit of the NAS Open Week. The NAS Open Week is a novel initiative by His Excellency, the Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, for us to engage with critical stakeholders on our own activities. Nigerians will recall that shortly after His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas' inauguration on June 13, 2023, as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, he unveiled a parliamentary agenda for the 10th House of Representatives. That agenda encapsulated issues like transparency in governance, accountability, and so on and so forth. And one of the key items there I would like to add is the issue of an open parliament, a parliament that is open to all citizens of this country and outside. So what we have done, we are doing with the NAS Open Week, is to open ourselves to entertain and interact with critical stakeholders. Like today, we had traditional rulers cutting across the 36 states of the country coming into the parliament to interact with us. So having unveiled our parliamentary agenda for the 10th House of Representatives, we felt there was a need for us to invite in our masters, the Nigerian people, to come in and look at our books and tell us how we are faring. Like they say in the principle of justice that you cannot be a judge in your own case. So for us, all that we have been able to achieve in the last 1 year is for Nigerians to come and judge. And in judging us, we believe that it will provide an avenue for us to equally sit up and to do more in the areas that they feel that we have done well.
So how instructive is the President's remarks to members of the 10th House of Representatives?
Well, what Mr. President said yesterday to us is not new. Since we came on board as a parliament, particularly for the first time in the history of our country that we're having diverse opinion being expressed by the 8 different political parties that are in the parliament today, the level of synergy that Nigerians have witnessed from us, the maturity and the peace and tranquility that we enjoy in the parliament so far reinforces our understanding that what Mr. President said yesterday is not new. Even though that it is not new, it is always good to reiterate the fact that a synergy, partnership, and cooperation, between arms of government is always the best. And as a parliament, we believe, because this NAS Open Week, particularly for us, is not just to celebrate our achievement as a parliament, again to reinforce the fact that we value, we cherish, the 25 years of the institution of the parliament, as a critical component of our democratic journey as a nation. So having established that, we believe that it is when we partner, when we work together, that Nigeria will make huge progress. And this partnership, apart from the peace and tranquility which exists between the executive and the the legislative arm of government, we have equally seen that from the statistics given by His Excellency the Right Honorable Speaker in unveiling, our one-year scorecard, you equally see that so far we have been able to pass 80 bills. 89 bills in total, have passed through this parliament. 9 of them being executive bills and 80 being, parliament bills. So I think we are all enjoying the partnership. The executive is enjoying the partnership. The Nigerian masses are enjoying the partnership because these bills and motions, when they go through the parliament, they are to have direct impact on the masses. So we have taken this collaborative approach, which of course represents the current leadership of the National Assembly, their own political maturity, their exposure and understanding of the issues that affect this nation. So far so good. I would say that it's been a very great one for our country.
Right, and I'm very happy this is an opportunity for National Assembly members to also reflect and forward planning. But before we get to that point where we begin to talk about improving inclusion through citizens' engagement, enhancing citizens' participation, we must bridge that gap, the distrust Nigerians have towards the National Assembly. Am I correct, Honorable?
Yes, you are very correct, because when we came on board, we inherited the issue of a trust deficit. It's been a very key issue, and it's not only for the National Assembly alone. We came on board at a time that Nigerians generally, had lost faith, in government generally, government at all levels, from the local government to the state and the federal government levels. They've lost faith. So the first thing we did when we came on board with the legislative agenda unveiled by His Excellency, first is to make openness, a priority, for us. And in doing that, I think over the last 1 year, we have been able to build a certain level of trust. You notice that when we gave notice for this NAS Open Week, in the past, a lot of Nigerians would have been very reluctant to even go to the parliament. But because they have seen a leadership that mirrors transparency, accountability, and one that is very proactive, a leadership that is interested in engaging the Nigerian people. For us, we believe that to serve Nigerians, we must all partner. Nigerians must understand what we are doing for them, because it is when they understand our efforts that they equally, make their input. And it is not a one-way thing. All of us, either in the executive or in the parliament, we all have a role to play. So what basically the NAS Open Week has done for us, is to help in reducing the trust deficit, which used to be there in the past. And if you notice, from yesterday, we opened the entire parliament, because normally you have visiting hours, visiting days for people to come to the parliament. But the NAS Open Week is an opportunity, where the entire parliament is open to all Nigerians, who have something reasonable to contribute, questions to ask. So in the wisdom of His Excellency the Right Honorable Speaker, we were encouraged before now that our offices must be open. Our committee leadership must also open their doors to receive, entertain requests from Nigerians, give information where necessary, relate with people, explain what the various committees are doing. Now we are talking about the issue of cholera, the Committee on Environment, the Committee on Health, the Committee on Water Resources. They are all interacting with Nigerians to say, this is where we are, this is where we are going, these are the things we have been able to achieve, these are the things we intend to do more. And I believe that from the inputs that we have received from the various segments of the Nigerian state, of course, going into the second year, into the second session of the parliament will also be more engaging, because now we have listened to Nigerians directly, we've heard from the horse's mouth. We know exactly what they want, and we will still encourage them. From what we have seen so far, I believe that it's not going to be an annual ritual alone. Mr. Speaker, in his wisdom, has seen that Nigerians are interested in the affairs of the parliament, and I'm sure from time to time he's still going to, provide the opportunity for Nigerians to come in and make their contributions.
All right, because some people say sometimes one can be a judge in his own case. It's sad that the National Assembly is seen by many as a corrupt and frivolous institution. Now, let me get your perspective on this. Why do you think many Nigerians have this perception?
Yes, you know, it is, we cannot blame them because the beginning, let's take it from 1999, some of the issues that have dotted, you know, the leadership of the National Assembly. You've had in the past the Fabian Osuji saga, the one that involve committees of parliament, you know, engaging with the executive. And after that one, I think there was another one about the Minister of Health on spent budget when Person Mrs. Adenike Grange was the health minister, and one architect, late architect Aduku, Gabriel Aduku, was also the minister with Senator Yabo Basenjo as chairman of that committee. Yes, it is very true that in time past we've had some of these very, very palatable stories coming from the National Assembly. But again, our democracy is a work in progress. There's corruption in every segment of the Nigerian state. That notwithstanding, we cannot, you know, dwell on the past, you know, to use that as a basis to judge what is currently going on in this current parliament. And that is why, in the wisdom of His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, first and foremost, in constituting the standing committees, he found people like us who are coming from the civil society, you know, critics, mirrors of the society, you know, to be in this current role. And one thing His Excellency Mr. Speaker said to me when I was appointed as the deputy spokesperson of the House, he said, we are going to run an open parliament. We want people like you who represent the other segment of the Nigerian state to be part of what we are doing, to see exactly what we are doing, and to report back to the Nigerian people. The second time I went back to His Excellency, it will interest you, you know, to know. I went back to His Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, with my chairman, the spokesperson of the parliament. We had a few issues that time. I think some of our ad hoc committees, you know, there were allegations that they requested for money or something from some committees. And His Excellency Mr. Speaker immediately set up a committee to investigate the members, sent in that issue to the ICPC, and within a period of 7 days, you know, the persons whose names were mentioned were cleared. And Mr. Speaker said, take it back to the Nigerian people, report, you know, to them what it is. So I believe, basically, that yes, in the past we had issues, but at the moment, with this level of openness, with the level of transparency, and being proactive about what you are doing, you don't wait for the new for problems before you explain yourself to Nigerians. That's the reason why we have dedicated this whole week, you know, to an open engagement where we are using seminars to talk to people, engage intellectuals. We're having workshops. We're even having public hearing, you know, to get the input of Nigeria. Public hearing on our 1 year in office to freely allow Nigerians. So we believe this is one way to build to rebuild the trust, the lost trust, you know, in the past. So now,
another way to build trust, especially with Nigerians, is dealing with the root cause. Why have Nigerians not trusted the National Assembly in the past year? And one of the reasons that have been attributed to this is the persistent refusal of the Nigerian legislators to disclose to the public the actual earnings. This has contributed to this distrust. Many Nigerians believe this is the paramount issue of concern in legislative discourse in Nigerians. And I mean, to add to that, many Nigerians have also complained or continue to complain, kindly hold on, about the huge salaries and outrageous allowances shrouded in secrecy. It's not even about whether they want to know or not. This is because it's shrouded in secrecy since 1999. And the National Assembly never deems it fit to publicize or respond to these allegations appropriately.
Okay, yes. Well, the way maybe those before us in the past have reacted, you know, to that, their style may be different, but as an open parliament, I will say it anywhere. If need be, I'm going to disclose documents, because that is exactly what Mr. Speaker has asked us to do. What I get as salary is 606,000 naira. That's what I receive every month. The records are there. And the way I spend it, even though it's a private issue, but I still can go further to disclose that. Nevertheless, that is not even the big issue. I think the big issue and the elephant in the room we must identify is the fact that even the National Assembly does not have the power to fix its own salary. And and allowances. The Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation Commission is the body, responsible. So maybe sometimes if Nigerians, make requests using the Freedom of Information Act to send the request to the wrong person, they might be getting the wrong answers. So to get full disclosure on National Assembly salary, whether in the House of Representatives or in the Senate, I believe the organ fixing, responsible for fixing that sum is the one, such inquiries should be directed at. Nevertheless, when we get them, we react to them immediately. We send details out. My constituents are very happy, the way I go about the utilization of my allowances and my salary. But to equally address the very germane issue, because sometimes when people talk about allowances or salaries, it is about, are people really using these allowances? Do they have a need for them?
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes. So, do they really have a need? Because when the issue of, vehicle for committee assignment came up, yes, I remember when I appeared on this very program, and my chairman appeared on a couple of other programs. We discussed, was it necessary, for operational vehicles to be provided for members of the National Assembly, and for a parliament that has carried out oversight functions in all the MDAs. At least some of our committees have visited MDAs, moved across the country, inspecting road projects and so on and so forth. So far, so good with the statistics that we have on ground today. This is the first parliament in one session, less than 1 year, that has been able to look at 1,351 bills. 1,351 bills for emphasis. So the issue, as someone coming from the civil society perspective, I believe that yes, in the past, some of these things were issues because we didn't see the parliament. We didn't see the honorable members. We didn't see the senators working for the people. So today we have changed the narrative because you now have a parliament that is working day and night. All right, and I believe that everyone who...
Honorable, kindly hold on. Let me pause you there. We need to take a break, and when we come back, we will continue this conversation. You're watching Politics Tonight, everyone. We'll take a break, and I'll be right back. Please stay with us.